mic. Okay, we're here. Let's get this part set up. Boop. Boop. First question should be going up. Let's also change this so that I can get on this stuff right here. Not 100% sure. Looks like I'm lagging a little bit, but I'm hoping that will catch up and we won't have a problem. Let me check this area here, make sure that things are actually going over well, and we will get this underway. We really shouldn't have any problems. I feel like I set everything up. Been a day or two, but it really shouldn't matter. That seems to be running right. It says excellent connection and everything like that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's set. That's set. I already sent out some of the stuff. These are set. That's turned off. Okay. Well, my audio seems to be running. We've already got a vote. We already got. Did I do that? Oh, I did that. Okay, so we got to talk. Hey, what's going on? Okay. We seem to be set up. We seem to be set. We seem to be working. Seems to be going good. Boy, do I need toys today. You ever feel like that? Like you could just really use just opening up a couple things. You know what I mean? I sometimes I laugh at myself for that, but man, I could. It has been something. What's going on, man? Hey. Life update, mild life update, and mild channel update. Channel update is very simple. The channel so far, it's doing very well. I'd say it lost a little bit of momentum, but I haven't been posting the way that I was. That should be changing. I got about 4 videos that are edited, ready to go. I'm ready to start posting them, and I've been able to actually sit up here and get some of that stuff done. Mild life update. I lost my car again. I'm at the point where it's basically too late, but like I can't help but wonder if I got like a lemon. Like I've had problem and problem and problem. I'm not kidding, by the way. My car's a 2018. They're about to replace my engine for the second time. This will be engine number 3. Yeah, not a joke, not an exaggeration. If I had not bought the warranty on this thing, I'd be screwed. I mean, I'd be screwed. There'd be no coming back from this. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That being said, other than that, it's been going pretty well. Okay? It really has. I could complain all day. Everybody could. But there's really nothing that big weighing me down. That's my biggest thing that's a headache. And now I'm like in a loner. I'm trying to be careful about what I do and everything like that. It's nerve-wracking, but it's nothing that I won't get over. I'm lucky enough to have planned ahead to deal like buying the extended and getting the actual like best warranty I could get and things like that. I lucked out. Okay, I lucked out. We're moving now. Also with the channel update, 2 things. One, I found him. Remember it may have been an episode or 2 ago, but a couple episodes ago, probably like the last major episode, we talked about I still have one specific G.I. Joe from my childhood that I played with all the time. Like the same Joe, not like one that I rebought, like the exact same Joe from my childhood. I found him. That's him. That's him with his wobble legs. He a little bit of his crotch has been tipped off. That happens with old Joes where the mid piece here breaks. I don't want to get crazy or nothing, but the rubber band is still good in there. Like, he still stands up. Like, there's still a nice, you know what I mean? That actually stays the way that it's supposed to. He even still has this little gimmick here when he used to, like, slice things, right? Like, even the arms actually impress me, if you want the truth about it. Because while they fall that way, they hold this way. So, like, the bicep movement falls. And can we take a second, real quick, and point something out? And I know we've had enough of her showing up on the show, but this is a G.I. Joe from, like, the early 90s. And they gave it bicep swivel. Okay? Because they knew that you would want to be able to hold swords and stuff in cool poses, even on a dated articulation figure like this. They knew. And yet, Mattel decides to cut the bicep swivels. It's not okay. It's a step backwards that can't be ignored. And it actually leads us into our second topic here in a second. But this is crazy. It really is. Like, that I still have this, that, yeah, he's rough, but even some of his paint is still good, in all honesty. I'm really impressed. And it makes this all the better. Like, that is how you update a figure. It feels like an update to my childhood. It still shows a ridiculous amount of respect to the original figure, while updating it unbelievably so, and turning it into something for the future. This is so cool. And this is crazy that I still have him. It really does. It blows my mind, you want the truth of it, that I still have him. But I thought it would be cool, since I did find him, to bring him up, because we did talk about him. And we're going to start here today with something I did not expect to talk about. New Eternia, Teela. Now, we already did a video saying how I would not buy her. Okay? So are we at the point of calling Bill out? See, just like every other YouTuber, you said that you wouldn't buy her, and then you bought her so that you could complain about her and get clicks. And no. I said that I would not buy her. That the only way that was entering my collection to even consider was if someone bought it for me. Well, I had an offer. Somebody sent me a request on Instagram. They said, I saw your show. I think she's worth it. I know She-Ra was the way she was. And he even said, I was disappointed by She-Ra. I get exactly where you're coming from. But the Teela is not as bad. That's what they said. And I was like, all right. Okay, that's great. But I meant what I said. I'm not going to buy it. Well, they said, but you also said that you wouldn't buy it if you had to buy it. I'll send you the money. What's your PayPal? Well, they sent me $30 on PayPal. I transferred that to my account. I ordered Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store sent it. And I got her. I am happy to announce that she's not as bad as She-Ra. She has problems, as you are witnessing right now. This is not a terrible action pose right here, with this like Spartan kind of idea where she's kind of got the spear over the sword and the shield and everything. But if we're being perfectly honest, she also suffers from some of the same problems. She does not have the bicep swivel, but she doesn't have this thing up here that gets in her way, so she can't actually lift her arms, and she can't actually do things like this that are a big thing that helps her a lot. It gives her more movement than what we're seeing with She-Ra, and she can hold the spear down like this, and get kind of angles that are pretty cool and whatnot for certain poses, where if you did the shot right, it kind of looks fine. It looks passable in terms of an action shot. You can get away with it, is what I'm saying. Her legs, better. Her knees, once I get them here, she could stand, and she does not look like her leg is broken. She could stand. Like, that shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't. Should not be a big deal until you get this She-Ra here, and her leg does this weird, like, what is that? What is that? I know we've had her in multiple episodes and I'm still complaining about her, but this felt like it broke me. This is the worst figure I have opened from them. And this is very interesting because the reason I want to talk about this Teela is a couple of reasons. First off, she is not as bad as the She-Ra. There are multiple things here that really do help her. For one, her outfit is unbelievable. I mean, it's stunning. It really is. It's good. That is very nice. It's intricate. It's got all these like really cool designs and everything, like on it. It really does, and it just works, man. Like, it's really good. The way that the flowers and everything come out on it, and it works. This is not necessarily the onesie type thing that we know. It's been modified a little bit because it's got kind of like a dress flap, and the underwear part is actually under there. But that actually helps for like this and keeps everything so nothing gets in her way. She doesn't have any movement there, but she has a fair amount right here. Enough, though, that I feel like it would be in my best interest realistically to heat her up, pop this out, and probably carve with a knife, with an X-Acto knife, a little bit, and give her some extra movement, probably forward, back, and whatnot, because she desperately needs it. These new figures, I don't know what it is at the torso up here with the ladies, but like they don't want to move very much. Because she has the spear, that helps her quite a bit. It really does. It does her a favor that the swords are not doing, because once again, she does not have a slashing hand. She has the shield and a spear like some sort of Spartan. So I mentioned some good things. But there are problems with her. There are problems. Problem one. Her face. Her face is bad. And it is not just mine. It is not just a paint application. It's not that problem. I have now spoken to multiple people that are experiencing the same thing. The Teela face is bad. Like, it's bad. It looks like it's looking up. Like, it's really hard to explain, but it really does look like it's looking up. Like she's like her eyes are pointed upward, and it's really, really awkward. I really don't like it. I cannot get this camera to stop focusing on me. Focus on her. On her. She's the star right now, camera. This is not... Pay no attention to that bill in the camera. Well, I can't get it to focus on her for some weird reason. I don't know. It won't detect her face, which is weird, because it will do it for other characters. We've done it many times on this camera. But her eyes are like looking up, and she has this look about her face like she's bored with battle or something. Like, I don't know. Just like, she looks like she's making a runway model face. Like, she really does. It's the same face that I've seen on women that walk runways that are doing like fashion shows, and they kind of got that look about them, like they're super serious and uninterested in what they're doing, even though that would probably be like one of the most thrilling, crazy things that model has ever done in her entire life, is to be part of one of those walkway shows, especially for a giant producer. Like, but they all look bored. That's the face she's making. The hair maybe could be more red. That could be my problem. I'm red-green deficient. It has to really be red to pop out. And this, the way my eyes hit, it almost feels a little... Like, I could tell that it's red, but like it's not... I don't know. it's hard for me to explain because you don't see what I see. It's not the way that it works. So it's very much a me thing. And otherwise, I really like the gold accents and everything. And this, surprisingly enough, because I heard from a lot of people that this was a problem, that the snake armor didn't work for a lot of people. That they would slip it on and it like didn't work. Well, let me get this situated because I've done this 3 or 4 times now. And once I get it on there, it takes me a second, but yeah, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's not going anywhere. It really does work. I'm not having the problem that other people were. See? It's not pulling off. It doesn't fall even when I turn the head. I can look down. I can look up. My armor stays on. So other people are having a problem that I'm not really having. Not in the same way. But I will say that the gimmick of the armor scares me. Why does it scare me? Because what it's doing is there's a little piece of plastic right here that hangs down on both sides. And it's very brittle. I mean, I'm pushing it in. You see that? I don't like that idea. That needs to be a lot stronger plastic for what they are attempting with this armor. To the point that I don't like to use this armor. Even though mine works, it still scares me. Because if I put it on there, and then I take it off, and it pulls this up, it probably doesn't take much to pull this up and bend it permanently and break it. That's a problem to me. Last problem with the figure. You'll notice that I'm displaying her like this. I quadruple checked the packaging. And I probably should have opened her right here on the show as 100% proof, because this had not happened to me yet before, and so I wasn't thinking that I had anything to worry about. I didn't get a snake staff. She didn't get one. No snake staff. I don't know why. It just didn't happen. She didn't come with it. But I got to looking, and she was definitely supposed to have. So now I got this problem. I got this Tila. I don't have the snake staff. What's going on? Well, I decided if I'm going to talk about her, I want to try to be fair to her, and I want to have all of it. So I sent a message to Mattel. Mattel sent me a message back. Send us pictures. I sent the pictures, the packaging, yada yada. Of course, they had to take my word for some of it. That is the nature of the thing. But after I explained everything and I talked about what was happening, I talked about why I specifically wanted her complete, and I wanted that snake staff, and now I don't have it, and I'm about to talk about it on a show, and I don't know 100% what I'm going to say on the show that might be negative without it. That's not a threat. I don't have the power to threaten you. I don't have enough viewers to make that a thing, but realistically, I want to be real about what I'm talking about, and I don't have all the pieces. Well, they looked her up. And they told me that they do not have an extra one. I would have to order an extra one online and replace her myself. But they were willing to send me a different figure. They offered 2 possibilities. A figure that I don't yet have, that's very intriguing, because I haven't been able to find one. Or they would send me another figure. They would replace my She-Ra. I don't want another She-Ra. While I'm willing to admit this is not as bad as I thought it was, and I'm going to make an adjustment that will make it even better, I don't want a replacement for this. I don't want this. Like, it's still sitting on the desk because we've been talking about her for a while, but realistically, this is going to go in a sales bag. It's gone. Like, there's no way this is sticking around. And I don't want a replacement. I even if I got the worst one and it's just luck of the draw, I don't want them to replace it. I don't want it. I don't care. So they offered me, they'll send me that new Beast Man. You know what? I'm going to give them a win on this. That's cool. I'm going to get the new Beast Man. I could not find that Beast Man, that Lords of Power Beast Man. He looks awesome. I have all the other Beast Men. I couldn't find him in my general area, and I missed him online, and he was already starting to pick up some value, and I was like waiting for them to kind of re-release him, and I'd get him at a normal price or whatever, or I'd just buy him from Mattel, because I did notice that they were kind of showing up there. And then it was like, hey, we'll send you that Beast Man. Okay, look, all I missed out on was the staff. Does that suck? Yes. Do I have an alternative? I don't have the snake staff as it should be. Okay? Let's put it that way. But I do have something that's coming soon. After seeing her and realizing she's not all that bad, and my biggest problem I have with her, that I will also attempt, I think I'm actually going to attempt a kit bash. I'm going to buy another Teela at some point, even if I dig her out of like a bin somewhere. A Teela, a She-Ra, something. And salvage the arms. And see if I can't pull these off and put the old Masterverse arms on her and get the Teela I was asking for. She won't be perfect. This won't be completely right. But it'll be right enough. And I think that I'm going to do that. But my other kit bash possibility is her head. At the Walmart Collector Con, they released, right on the heels of this Teela, like way too fast, if you want the truth of it, a vintage Teela. Masterverse vintage Teela. It's almost the same figure, but it has a different head. It has a different head. It comes with the staff. It comes with the armor. It comes with a new head. And it's fairly close to being this, but a little bit different. Well, because of the release price, and because I had a promo code that got me a little bit off on my next major order, I bought 2 of them. So I'm going to get one, keep it the way it is, get the other, and break it into parts. And a couple of those parts are going to be a head to replace this head. Hopefully, that will do her, and she'll be fine. I heard a lot of people saying use the other Teela head, the long-haired one, but I use that Teela head on the Teela that's down there. I don't want to do that, because that's a Teela that I like a lot, and I'm not going to break it apart and lose the head that I like on it. I'm not going to do that. So there. Now you know. Technically, I did buy it, but I stuck to exactly what I said I was going to do. I refused to buy it myself, and I didn't. It was only because it was specifically asked of me to give it a shot and that they would pay for me to do it, and I was like, you want to waste your money? Absolute. Guarantee. Give me the money. I'll do it. And I did. That's where we are. That's where we are with it. So, I have reviewed it. I don't hate it. It does not hurt me like the She-Ra does. I have my problems with it, and they're the same articulation problems that I'm seeing with the line now in the female characters, but it's not so awful that I can't get over it. And her weapons help because they help to minimize that lack of movement because she has long weapons. We'll see what the vintage one looks like. and what I can get out of it, and whether or not I can pull off a kit bash on this one to really make it the Tila that I want. Before we move on, Marvel Legends has one, so I'm going to put up the choices for that Marvel Legend, and then we are going to go to the chat, because there was a lot of talking, and I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but I wanted to get that out of the way. I did get one. It doesn't change my opinion on the fact that Motu is making a big mistake right now in terms of Mattel, but it's not as bad as that She-Ra. That She-Ra is the most disappointing figure I have opened in a very long time, and we're probably going to keep talking about her for a while because she's a huge disappointment. So let's see. Okay, we have that. Then we have okay, so those have actually been opened. Those are done. So that leaves us with and those are the choices. So next, as we get ready to check out what's going on here, what is happening? There, that fixed it? Yeah, that fixed it. Okay, next, we're going to open my drink. There. What is Bill drinking? I found Liquid Death, water, Fruity Pebbles. And it surprisingly tastes like Fruity Pebbles. Almost like a Fruity Pebble soda. It is a sparkling water. Normally I don't like those, but the edge of it kind of having a Fruity Pebbles flavor is crazy, and since I can't have cereal anymore, it's just enough to make it feel like I'm getting something I'm not supposed to have, which is fantastic. Let's go into stuff. Hey, what's going on? You pre-ordered the McFarlane, Leo, and Donatello today. That is awesome. I skipped them. I did look at them. They are the IDW Ninja Turtles, specifically the comic book ones, from like the last major run. They don't look bad, but I noticed something. They're 5-inch scale. Not that they are 5 inches, they're 5-inch scale. So the Shredder, the Foot Soldier, Leo, and Don are 5-inch scale figures. That means they will not scale with any of my Motu stuff. They will not scale with my Marvel Legends. They will not scale with my DC stuff currently. I found myself in a conundrum. Until I could see one of these in a store and hold it and test its actual size for myself, I cannot buy one. We are currently at a point, I talked about this on my Instagram today, I have to start turning a lot of stuff down. Not just because like, oh, I'm in trouble and I got no money. That's true for everybody. But prices are getting up to the point where it's starting to run like over, like well, close to $200 for a wave of Marvel Legends. And I don't care what you say, because I've had people fight me about this. Shaggy is a $40 figure. If it costs about $35 and you buy it, and then you pay the shipping and handling, you're looking at a $40 figure. We mostly buy online now. This is an indisputable fact. It really is. And if you're one person that can come out and say, I don't, I still buy my stuff, good for you. You're like the one guy left. Because realistically, most of this stuff is either getting impossible to find or it doesn't go to the store to begin with. Like, it doesn't. There's not a rack for it. We don't live in an age where you can walk into your Walmart necessarily and pick up the new Ultimates. It's not a thing. We don't have a Toys R Us the way we used to have it. So there's so many figures that you cannot get almost any other way. As of yet, I have never, I'm not saying this is true about all Walmarts, but while I have found Street Fighter Jada, I have yet to find even one single Mega Man. At a Jada, not one Jada Mega Man have I stumbled across at either a Target or a Walmart. Now that might not be true for everybody, but it's true for me. And that means that my toys mostly are bought online. And that means that shipping and handling is part of that purchase. Because I'm still paying tax, but on top of it, another fee to get it. It's not the same thing as driving out there, buying the figure, paying the tax. It changes the value of the overall purchase. If something is $20, it's nearly 26, 27, if not 30. This is just the truth of it. Heck, I just got confirmation that my 2-pack of Wolverine and Storm are on the way. I like that Wolverine for what it's worth. He's probably going to replace the one that's currently on the shelf, and that's fine with me because the one on the shelf has been up there for a long time. But what I bought it for was the Storm, and she is definitely going to replace the Storm on the shelf. I do not like that Storm that's on the shelf. I have tolerated her at best. I bought the 97 Storm, and when I bought her, we talked about her here, and I even mentioned then, she is the weakest person I bought in the line. Personally, I did not care for her that much. This new Storm looks like it is the Storm that I have always wanted. It's the first appearance Storm. I love that Storm. That's fantastic. I'm all on board. Give it to me. I've got it. I got it. Because of that, I am more than fine with putting it on the shelf, replacing the old Storm. Well, that was supposed to be like a $51 purchase. But there was a random price increase that happened on Mattel. There's a lot of people that have actually been talking about it. So if you haven't seen it, like I'm seeing posts about it. I started seeing posts about it like right after I got the notice that it was shipping. And it was shipping, and I have to pay $65.38 for one 2-pack. One 2-pack. That's a lot. And that price, I then started seeing a bunch of people posting, hey, what's going on? Why has there been a random price increase on Mattel Creations? And so I went in and I looked, and they're right. All of a sudden, everything seems to have went up by like $5, like randomly. Like a bunch of stuff went up. Not everything, mind you, but a bunch of stuff went up. And with prices increasing everywhere, it's at the point now where we really have to stop and think, does this matter? Do I care? I'm going to be passing on a lot. And sadly, these turtles, they got hit with this because I don't know what I can do with them. I don't necessarily need more standalone turtles. My problem with the turtles right now, for the ones that I have, they're all standalone. They don't really mesh with anybody I have. They sit up there alone. The movie turtles are like big. They might be able to go in pretty well with like some of the DC stuff because the DC stuff is kind of big. But you get the idea. Like all my Playmates stuff is way too small. It scales with Playmates stuff. Or I've gotten a couple pictures where I've gotten away with doing like the turtles fighting Bowser and stuff like that. That's the best I can do. It's rough. So I did pass on these, and I'm passing on a lot of stuff in the future. Like, in fact, I just mentioned on my Instagram that I passed on the Black Bolt and Medusa because, in all honesty, there's a business practice that's going to get them in trouble right now. And that business practice is the idea that they package a very popular character with a character they know you probably don't want. I'm not saying that nobody likes the Inhumans. There's people out there that that's their comic. But it ain't me. However, Black Bolt and Medusa in a 2-pack makes sense. That's the husband and wife, and they were associated into the Fantastic Four, and they were early comic book things that I actually did enjoy back then. I'm interested. I would have been interested. So I said, that's cool. Black Bolt, Medusa, a new Medusa with the full new female body, plus a hair swivel that allows her to actually be able to move and use her hair. I'm in. Give it to me. And then they said, but Lizard Fish Man. And I was like, oh, okay. Kind of Minotaur dude. I'm like, I don't want either of those guys. And they were like, well, this is how you'd have to buy them. And they cost nearly $70 a pack now. You can keep them. You can keep them. I don't need them. They're yours now, forever. I don't need them. Thank you for playing. Like, we're at that point that we're going to be saying that a lot more. And we're going to be passing on a lot more stuff. And being a little more choosy about what we get. Ironically, we may actually even pay more money than we used to get the exact items that we want over the items that we would have got and given a chance in the last market. But we're not there anymore. We're not at the point where we're going to walk through the store now, see the guy that we were kind of thinking about, and he kind of looks cool now that he's in my hands, and now we're going to go ahead and spend the $50 and get him. We're not there anymore. We have passed that. Now something has to matter. The random buys are going to die severely. And if they're happening for me, and I'm a cherry picker, I don't buy all the Marvel Legends, okay? Like, the last wave that came out, I bought the World War II Wolverine, and that was it. It was the only thing in that entire line that I gave a crap about. That's the level of cherry picker I am. I do not buy big old giant Build-A-Figures. I don't care. It's not my thing. I don't want to get a line of characters that I don't want to get the one thing that I do want. And it's very rare that I end up with something like him that I don't really care about at all. How did I get him? He was on a ridiculous sale for he was cheap. He was like $12 at Ollie's. So, like, yeah, I bought it. And that's it. But I don't see that happening with most anything else now. Juggernaut has definitely won. But yeah, I know that was very long-winded, but there's a lot to talk about in the current state of how collecting is hitting right now, and the fact that it's affecting everybody. And that is part of the reason that I passed on those. But I haven't given up on them. Keep that in mind. While I passed on the Mortal Kombat and then saw the Mortal Kombat in person and then said, I'm kind of glad I passed. I feel like they can do better. And I'm not willing to give the same pass to a martial artist that has to be able to perform and move in a certain way. So I moved on, and I just sticking to the stuff that I like. With the Turtles, I haven't given up on them. I need to see them in person. I need to see how they scale. Then I'll make the decisions. And yeah, I mean, thanks for caring. There's nothing we could do about it. Mondo Toys doing She-Ra. Now, I didn't know about a She-Ra, but I know that they're doing a Teela. I saw a lot of the New York City Comic-Con. Like, dude, there's so much stuff on the way. Meant She-Ra. Now, I didn't know about a She-Ra. I haven't seen that. But I did see this Mondo 1/12 scale Teela. Oh. I passed on Clawful. I'll live. I passed on that He-Man. I'll live. I'm not the... I know some people are like huge fans of the 2000X. Most of those designs feel overdone and funny to me. And what does work works, and what doesn't work really feels like it doesn't work. And I have tried multiple times to watch that show, and I don't know why I can't do it. Like, I really don't know why. I can't make it through season 1. I get about like 10, 12 episodes in, and I just get bored and I move on with my life. I can't watch it, and I can't figure out why. And then every time I end up going back, it's been like 5-6 months or whatever. I'm like, I don't even remember what happened. And I end up rewatching the start again and being like, okay, I kind of remember this, and this is kind of boring me again. I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's not meshing with me for some reason, and I can't figure out what it is. And then there's the fact that these figures are over $100. If it's not the exact He-Man I want, I'm not going to pay $100 for it. If it's not the exact Clawful that like speaks to me, I'm not going to pay $100 for it. Once you start talking about $100, you better impress me. That being said, soft goods, new Tila, hopefully high-level articulation, hopefully. I'm at a troubled spot here. I really am. I've bought Mondo before. Specifically, I bought Tila. I have 2 of these. And I made a realization after I got them. I really like these. But that's it. That's its level of articulation on a figure that is over $200. And I understand somewhat that you say things like, well, Bill, you know, they don't want to break up the sculpt. Listen to me. And I'm sorry if you're about to hate me here. I think this is very cool. I'm very happy to have it. I went out of my way to get it. So please understand, I am going to criticize this, but I think there's some level of deserving here. The ball wrists, they kind of look funky and bad. There is a real good reason to have them, so I think they get a pass. I think that's important. So, I'm willing to let the ball joint wrists go. These are fine. The knees, these are fine. The upper torso really fights you. It does not want to move. And I don't know if it's just on all their figures or just this Tila. I don't know what it is. That lower torso doesn't like to move like at all. It has like very little to no give. The upper torso has a decent amount of swivel. The neck, fine. It has a lot of give. It moves. It's nice. The arms are bad. The arms are bad. Look, we just talked about this. There's no bicep movement. So a lot of the poses that you want to take with this Tila, you cannot take. You can't do it. Her wrist will help her out quite a bit, but she does not move well. And other than that, I have a slew of paint problems. Minor things, like where the paint actually comes off of this cuff and then goes on and hits the skin. When you were talking about a $300 figure, small problems become big problems. And now they want to do a Tila. And I can't help but wonder, a Tila with this level of articulation scale, but that looks way better, is that better? I don't know. Will they probably get me? It's Tila. They have a very high probability of snagging my attention. It didn't work with He-Man, because that He-Man, I can live without him. It doesn't. He's cool, but he's fine. I don't need him. They might get me with the Tila. But even if they do, I have to be real with myself, and it's back to the topic we were just talking about with prices. If they nab me on that Tila, and then she doesn't move for crap, like she has like a single joint knee and a single joint elbow and no bicep swivel, and like, is that acceptable? And how big will she be? Will she scale with anything that I have? Like, these are real questions that I have. I'm both excited and somewhat petrified that they might get me on this one because of what it is. And if I pay for it and it turns out to be something I don't like, that will pretty much end my attention towards Mondo. Because I already bought one item from Mondo and it was defective. They replaced it, and I praised them for how they did it. I have videos about it and everything. And then I got what I wanted. And she is an absolute centerpiece. She's been sitting over here forever. It's my big Tila. I love it. I really do. I know that I just talked a bunch of crap about the one that was over there. That was my defective one that I just showed you, by the way. Just so you're aware. That was the defective one. It came with two of the same arm. Because of the way I make her stand, most people can't see it. Literally. Like, most people don't recognize that she is defective. But if you look at this arm, and then you look at this arm, do you see it? See the problem? They're the same. She came with two of the same arm. But if I bring this hand up and I give her a sass-ass pose on the 2000X variant, you really don't notice it. It kind of allows her to escape it. But yeah, the other thing that I have a problem with is Mondo seems to lock up. Like, are you hearing that? Like, I'm not even going to push it anymore. Like, Mondo tends to have an issue where you don't mess with them for a while and they lock up. Their joints get all funny. Mondo has problems. I know people really praise and love Mondo, but Mondo does have problems. For all the good they do, they are not absolute. They are not perfect. They do have problems in the figure category. And I'm surprised I seem to be the only one that's been willing to say anything about it. Like, honestly. And be honest about it. Not just be, it's not exactly what I wanted, so I'm mad. Like, it's a little bit different for me. I do feel like there are legit problems. I don't normally collect Motu, but I can't lie. That Mondo 1/12 scale Skeletor looks fire. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Some of these really do look good, but I'm worried about them. I do have concerns. Concerns that are very hard to step over at over $100. That's a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. No chair. I have this guy that we're going to talk about, but no chair. No chair today. Hey, what's going on, man? Those new TMNT Mondo toys look amazing. Too pricey for me, but very cool. That's true. Let's see the Juggernaut. Okay, let's do that. And then we're going to go back because there is a lot of talking, and I'm sure what I just said has some people saying some stuff, and we'll get back to that. For right now, Juggernaut. There he is. If you caught my short, you know that I've been waiting to open this guy, and you know that I got this feeling that he just made this guy obsolete. I also immediately, like, because I had this guy off the shelf, I did a couple of photos with him where I did like a thing with the with Hawk Girl bashing the side of his helmet in and whatnot. It turned out pretty good. It was pretty cool. I shot it from different angles and whatnot. Just a very simple, like, looking at poses type of thing. But I did that on my Instagram. It was pretty cool. That's pretty much a big portion of what I'm using Instagram for, is to talk about toys that are currently out or whatever, or like that are coming out, and say whether or not I'd be interested or whatnot. And then sometimes I show like pose shots and stuff like that, or just goofy things that I'm doing. This guy looks like he has already made this guy obsolete. And I just got this guy, or it feels like that, doesn't it? Like, doesn't it feel like, and this guy's been out for a long time. There was a Build-A-Figure, and then they basically used the Build-A-Figure, and they did a repaint, and they released him as a Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack, which I was very thrilled to get, and still very happy with it. Don't misunderstand. But I'm not the kind of guy who keeps all this. One, space is a real issue. That's not something I'm willing to deal with. And two, I'm not the guy that you're going to come to on YouTube to say, hey, let's compare the 7 different Juggernauts there have been. I don't have the space or the time for that. I don't have an interest in being that guy. This is a museum to me. It all says something about me in small ways or big ways. And when it comes right down to it, my opinions, my interests, my museum to myself, I only need one Juggernaut. One definitive, no joke Juggernaut. And I can't help but feel like before we even touch this guy, he's it. Which means you have already become obsolete. How obsolete? I don't know. But I'm interested in figuring that out. Let's open him. Easily unboxed. Great news. All right. There he is. he feels, no joke, he feels heavy. Like, I guess I said the same thing when we were talking about Dragon Man, but like, man, they aren't messing around with these big guys, are they? That face is fantastic, by the way. Like, that's mean. That's sick. Look at that. Look at that face. That's good. Is he better than the last face? Art is subjective, sure. This guy has the white eyes and everything like that, and his smile's a little more exaggerated, a little more comic book level exaggerated. But like, Is it just new figure? Is it new figure smell? I don't think it is. I think that's a better head. I think it's a better head in multiple ways. One, this is flat. It's good and it's very cool, and the next person that owns this, I'm sure, will be very happy with it, but it's flat. This guy has like expression. I like that he actually has eyes. I like that there's like disturbing levels of super solid eyebrows. That's cool. Like, that's good. I like that it has the little spike that comes down here at the bottom where this is just the flat helmet, and it still has the studs. That's solid. I like everything about that more than this. The head is already a problem for you, Juggernaut. Already. The size. He is bigger. Like, noticeably bigger. Is that a good thing? Well, one could argue. Oh, here's a random Wonder Woman. One could argue it is a good thing, because it looks more imposing with this guy's size. That's cool. Yeah, that's sick. That's good. That's imposing. More so imposing than this. And that was even that was good. I'm not saying this guy was bad, but man, I don't know if it's even necessary to go on. Is the paint app better? One could argue that with this being the mesh feeling that it is, the paint is better. The legs seem better. I was about to say they could be slight reuse, but they're not. They're not reused. This guy's pinless. He's bigger. I like his head more. He's got toes. That'll add to all kinds of different things that he can do. His head does still turn, which I wasn't expecting. Still has the same bicep problem that Juggernaut will always have. We're not going to fix that. But for the first time ever, he can bring his hands in. Come on. There you go. He can literally bring his hands in, snap them together, whatever he wants to do, because he's also got these butterflies. This guy doesn't have that. He can't do it. He can't bring his hands in the same way. Come on. Put your hand in your... You can't do it. You could force it, but it's really not good on his joints. It's not made to do that. But you could have him literally do like this on this guy. Those butterflies mean a lot, man. They add a lot. This, he can get into some really serious bringing his stuff down for running and whatnot. Let's see. It's not perfect, but I'd say it's better than it was, arguably. Well, let's see. Do you have the edge here? Because you just have that. Oh, well. Oh, yep, okay. You can get all the way down like that. I'm having some trouble. I don't think he can get down like that. But he has enough movement in his other areas that I don't think it's going to stop him. And like I said, you could easily... You can get these, like, crazy walks with him because of the way that foot works. This guy's the better guy. I mean, it's almost beyond question. This guy's the better guy. He also comes with this, which you could do like this. You can kind of rest it on his head if you wanted to get that kind of an effect. But it's actually, of course, meant for his fist, which I thought was weird, in all honesty, when they released him. I feel like this should have been a bit of a bigger piece. and it should have more easily went onto his head because it's kind of like a thing like this. That's the way I felt about it. But they want it to be something like this or whatever, where you put it into his hand and he punches people. And I guess that's fine. I don't know if this has any real major reuse. Maybe depending on how you place it with something else, you could get a cool Hadoken effect or something out of it, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say, if you want the truth of it. I don't know that it's a super versatile thing. You might be able to use it for a bunch of different stuff. Maybe you could easily equip this to the thing and have him throw big orange haymakers as well. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that I don't know 100% what you'll get out of it yet. And he has 2 different hands. I think it's time that we found your pieces. You're going to the sales bags. Sorry, buddy. You're off the shelf, man. You are cool, but you're off the shelf. Which leaves minor question. No, I don't have it sitting here. I have like Kane Marco head in here. We should. Is that it? That's it. I'm curious. That came off way easier than I was expecting. Okay, I can get it on there. No. No. It looks goofy. It looks goofy. This is definitely the head that is meant to go on there, and noticeably meant to go on there. Yeah. No. Awesome. We've added him to the shelf. He's awesome. And the other one, all pieces are now removed from the collection. We're not going to be keeping him anymore. He just doesn't... There's not really a point to it. I don't need multiple Juggernauts. But he is still cool regardless, but he has kind of lost his... He's lost his space. He's going to the bags. So let's do... That's right. All right. Fruit water. I drink Monster Energy drink out of an empty pizza flavored Pringles can like a real man. I praise your manliness. I do. But hey man, I'm trying to bring all that stuff back down. Like, I've got to do it. A benefit, I have brought my size down. I notice it. I'm starting to fit back into shirts that I wasn't fitting into and everything like that. And I'm working on it. I'm gonna start adding running back into my regulars. I'm hoping to do my first, like, around the block full. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. See if it really knocks me out or whatever. But I'm doing better. I really am. I got a lot of my eating under control, about 80% without a doubt. Bill's live stream thumbnail face when he learns about another Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave. Let's see. The McFarlane TMNT are in Target stores now if you want to see them in person. That would be good. That would be fantastic, because that is definitely what I want to do, is see them in person, 100%. 5-inch scale, McFarlane really doing everything he can to avoid that 112. I thought that too. I was very confused about it. Let's see. Man, Scoob, these shipping costs are as bad as running around in Fortnite. Let's see. Savage for that one. Does that Wonder Woman Panita version interest you? There's another Wonder Woman coming out? Because if so, I actually did not know that. You have interested me, though. Let's... Is it a... Hold on. Oop, that's not it. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I get it. Yeah, I know. I should have known what that was. That's the statue one. I got my hopes up like an idiot. I thought maybe they were releasing another one, and you knew an artist that I didn't know or something like that. No. It's the sculpt I want, but I don't want a statue Wonder Woman. Like, what am I going to do with it? Put it randomly somewhere like a statue? I want that Wonder Woman. I don't want that Wonder Woman like that, but I want that Wonder Woman. Bill, thoughts on made-to-order Apocalypse? While that price is... Ugh! I could not resist pre-ordering it. Is it already up? Is it already up? If so, I did not realize it was already up for pre-order, but it's 100% got my attention. And I'll have a year to save for it, and if I can't handle it, I could cancel it. So I think, without a doubt, I'm going to put it, because I put everything else that they've done really like that, so... I don't have an Apocalypse. He's 12 inches. He looks fantastic. He's X-Men 97. He looks like he fits really well with the other figures. He's made to order, and so far these made to order figures have been really above the bar. What is he, $100? Somewhere in there? Is he? And I guess I'm asking for real. I could just check. Go over here to Pulse. Is he, I'm not seeing him appear on this main right now. I really don't see him on this main. Let me see if I could try to search him directly or whatever. That's weird. I figured I would see him, like... There he is. Okay. 120. I'm not going to tell you that's not a lot. I'm going to tell you that he can fight like 7 X-Men all at once in a massive diorama, and it doesn't look forced. I'm going to tell you that he has double pinless arms and legs. I'm going to tell you that his coloring looks great. I'm going to tell you that he comes with explosion effects, multiple arms, head sculpts. Yes, I want him, and I have a year to prep for him. If I can manage to put back literally $10 a paycheck and put it into a sub account, he's paid for. That's a lot of time and a lot of why wouldn't I? I think he is beautiful. So yes, 100% on board for that. I'm in. You got me. Not even my beloved Mezco is immune to a weak figure in a 2-pack. Dick Tracy and Flat Top, classic comic Batman and Two-Face. It's not that I'm not surprised. I know that's a selling tactic. That's the reason I never really called it out. I get it. It is part of the reason why I buy a lot of single figures over like packs, because oftentimes there's like a guy or something in the pack that I just don't care about. And then also oftentimes you have to take into consideration that like it boosts the price of the one guy you want and the one guy you're never going to do anything with. I pass on a lot of 2-packs, but this price increase is going to start making it really, really difficult to buy 2-packs. X-Men is doing it right. I'm going to give that to him. X-Men is doing it right. Marvel Legends, for all of its faults with what it just decided to do, the X-Men released Cyclops 80s and Marvel Girl 80s as a 2-pack. Literally right off the cover of the comics. They look beautiful. They have shipped. They're in a 2-pack. Of course, I want both of them. I will replace the Toys R Us Cyclops that I've been holding on to forever. He will come off the shelf. And because he comes with the blast effect that I want, that gives me 2 versions of that blast effect. And I will take the X-Force Cyclops also off the shelf, and he's going in bag 2. So that's 2 Cyclops off the shelf, 1 Cyclops added to the shelf, and a fantastic Marvel Girl that, surprisingly enough, I don't have. I have a 90s Jean. I have Phoenixes. I don't have a Marvel Girl. I don't have that green costume. I have a year 1 Marvel Girl, but not that green dress. I kind of love that. And the green dress is versatile. Like, I'm not kidding. One of the cool things about the green dress, now I'm all of a sudden just talking about this one thing, but it's so good. You can take that and kind of form it into almost like a go-go type of thing and swap her head out for one that's just like a normal Jean, and she just kind of looks like she's ready to go hang out. That's cool because it adds like a street clothes variant. You could put like her, Cyclops, and Wolverine hanging out or whatever, like on a literal, like just on like a day off. Put Cyclops in his jacket and everything and have him walking. Like, you can do this. And now with suit bodies, it's very easy to just take your Cyclops or whatever, get a suit body or something, plop the head on, you're fine. And then he can like go with her to something, to do something, and you can get a shot like that. And it's very cool. They also released Wolverine, the brown suit Wolverine, which is cool. A lot of people really like that one. I like that one, to be fair. It's not my favorite. I prefer the Tiger Stripe, but I like that one. And he's coming with the Storm that I've always wanted. Those are 2 perfect 2-packs. Perfect 2-packs. I'm in. Gimme. But this constant game that we play by packaging a character with somebody that like is really cool and then someone that nobody really wants, or that doesn't even make sense, like 2 characters and they're like, these 2 go together. I'm like, do they? Do they really? Because I feel like missed opportunities sometimes when like a character comes out and you very blatantly know who it should come with and then they don't, like, it's just weird to me. And it's going to become a lot more difficult to sell people on them. And it already is. We're already watching it happen in real time. I'm passing on things, and I'm watching a lot of other people behind me say and do the same thing. So it may become, in a strange way, it may be good that this is happening. I don't love it, don't misunderstand me. But it could be a strange benefit that in order to guarantee sales of things like 2-packs, they start doing them in ways they make sense. Like, constantly saying, no, I don't want this figure that might not sell to go in this pack with this person because then they're going to pass on it. What two characters are absolute bangers that we can guarantee and send them out there? We might see a little more of that. Actually planned 2-packs that make sense. Buying gunpla and old books is becoming astronomically expensive on eBay as well. I have to be picky, and something to chew on. It also discourages selling online as well. And I get that. I'm starting to kind of look into what it would take to start like trading. Like I have a whole bunch of stuff that's ready to go, ready to be sold, but there's an idea to post it up and say, hey, hit me up. If each of us is willing to spend the $15 or whatever shipping, I'll send you this, you send me that. And you got to do it with somebody you trust. It's not that I don't get that you're taking a risk, but I think some online trading might pop up easier than online buying at this point. You might see more of that because there's always something you have that you don't think is worth anything, that somebody might be looking for parts or something like that, and you could easily get something out of that. And so we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I am worried about it. I'm not being ridiculous necessarily. I'm just trying to say, yes, we are getting a lot more picky, and we're kind of looking into things like a lot of people are starting to have trouble selling. So what's going to come out of that? What's the next kind of market concept for us as creators that's going to happen? And I think realistically, it's going to start working into trades. I really do believe that. I think we'll start seeing a little more of, oh, the only thing I even wanted was Silver Samurai. The only thing, and then like people will buy those 2-packs and be like, hey, I got that 2-pack. Did you want this Juggernaut? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I have that Juggernaut now, and he's up, and I got him, and somebody's going to say, well, yeah, I didn't get that new Juggernaut, but I really did like this. I think this is really cool. What do you want? And I'm like, I'm missing, bleh. You know what I mean? And then somebody, I think there's going to be a little more room for honest trades. And it's going to have to be honest. People are going to have to also get off their ego and stop acting like what they have is worth so much. And they're going to just have to be honest about what it is. This is a hobby. You're trying to accumulate and get the things that you're missing. I have something you don't have. Let's do it. Like, it's going to have to become a little more honest instead of a little more profit-driven. Hey, I need some profit so I can buy some toys. Well, I happen to have the Batman that you don't have and you've been wanting. I want that Colossus. There we go. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not value for value, but in terms of collecting, it's value for the person that doesn't have and wants and doesn't have and wants. So we'll see how that turns out as we go. We all have 7 votes, and DC Multiverse has 1. Which makes this very easy. There's no vote for the DC Multiverse. That's what I got, and DC Multiverse will then be out of the show again. For someone like me, who just wants to sell an old book and ship it internationally, and isn't a career reseller, only selling one-offs, the rates, let alone selling product price, get ridiculous. And that's what I was talking. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, that's one of the things that stopped me from selling certain things, is because I have figures that I've only got priced at like $10. But realistically, that $10 that you would send me would then cost me $15, $20 in shipping. And then if I come back to you and I say, hey man, it's going to cost me like $17 to ship this to you. I know we agreed on 10. I need 27. Some people are not going to be about that because they were looking to get that deal. It's not a value for value, trade for trade. It's a profit seek. And if all I'm looking to do is make $10, but I can't even get it to you without shipping it at $17 minimum, then like we got a real problem. Peek behind the curtain. I did a giveaway. And what I gave away was a Herbie. a really cool one. This guy right here. I gave this guy away. So, Bill, how do you still have him then? Because this is my Herbie, okay? I just give you my Herbie. This is my Herbie, and you got your Herbie. But all jokes aside, I did a giveaway. And the giveaway was for another one of those Herbies. Let me fix this real quick. I went out of focus. Bam, bam. And when I gave that Herbie away, I offered to ship it. Now, Herbie is big. He's a pretty big thing. So in order to ship it, it took a little something out of me. And when I sent it, it cost me. Now, I did not complain about this, nor am I complaining about it right now. My intention with buying that thing was to send it and to guarantee it. And I did just that. But it did cost me $23 to send. So it cost me $80 to buy and then $23 to send because it's big. I mean, it's a big thing. I'm not saying that's true with every figure that we'd be sending, but that is argumentatively a real fact. And if you're trying to second guess things like what it's going to cost to send, you run into a whole other problem where you're like, I think I'm going to need about $15 shipping and handling. But then if you're overshooting that, you look like a prick. And if you're undershooting that, you're actually cutting into the profit margin that you would have got from actually selling. So I do think we're entering an interesting time with how this hobby is going to work. And I think a lot of resellers, people that are interested in this hobby for some sort of monetary gain, you're going to see a lot of people drop out. And a lot of people like me who are interested in this hobby because it speaks to them, we're going to stick around. But we're not going to stick around in the same capacity. We're going to say things like, man, it would be so cool to have, nah. And then somebody would be like, I have those. And then you say, dude, I got like a literal whole 2 totes of stuff that's ready for trade. Do you want anything? And I really do. It's a very real possibility that becomes a push in the future, is that you're going to see this issue create space where some people drop out because it's no longer worth the resell, and they can no longer buy something claiming, yeah, but see, now that I have this, 3 years from now when I choose to part with it, he's going to make me money. Those people are going to start dropping out fast because the money is not there the way it used to be. Not in terms of the way that resell is working right now. Did you see the Ben Cooper TMNT NECA? I don't usually buy Ben Cooper figures, but those bring back memories of me going as a TMNT. Ah! Every now and then, somebody says something that, like, puts them in my age bracket. That's real. Guys, I went as Superman. I'm 41. I went as Superman. I had the mask with the string and you put it on and you're Superman, and then you got the really crappy, like, I don't know what those things were made of. They felt like a plastic material, like wearing a grocery bag or something. It's this really bad material. And it was like a terrible Superman suit, super skinny because I wasn't like a buff guy and we didn't get muscle fabric suits back then for our Halloween. And like a terrible little cape that was like just maybe only like this long or whatever. It went down to like the middle of your back. Looked like a Power Girl cape more than anything else. And just you got your tennis shoes on and you're walking. Oh my gosh. I went as different things like that. I went as I went as Leonardo. I went as Raphael. I went as Superman. I went as Spider-Man. Always wearing these like terrible costumes, like these awful, awful, awful costumes from probably exactly what you're talking about. And I think it's crazy when I look at these Ben Cooper toys that are coming out. And it reminds me of, like, we used to go to school and everybody would get to dress up in their thing, and then they would do, like, a parade thing where they'd go around in the gym and they'd be like, I'm Superman and Batman and all that other crap, and everybody looked like something out of, like, a nowadays like horror movie, like literally where like they use those kind of gimmicks in horror movies because those masks look eerie, and they'll put them on people and whatnot and do it. Dude, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. It's so crazy that you bring those up because yeah, I get it, dude. I get it. That's why Dan Yun made a good point. They can now make big characters as deluxes that would normally be Build-A-Figures, yet people want these Build-A-Figure waves despite how severely expensive they'll be going forward. See, I just don't understand this. I think it's this misunderstood idea that they're getting a figure. Like, if you buy all of it, you get a free figure. No, you don't. No, you don't. And if you're one of those people that believes that, I don't know how. The evidence has been there forever. Forever. That they take a figure that's like, and I'm generalizing, but they take like a $20 figure and they're like, but he comes with an arm, so he's $25. And by the time you finish the wave, you've paid for this figure. He wasn't free. You didn't put him together and get him because you were a good customer and bought all the pieces and then you get a free horse or whatever. It doesn't work that way. They're not going to take a hit. Okay? Companies don't do that. They don't take a hit on what they want to sell. They make money on what they want to sell. And every single one of those Build-A-Figures is actually costing you extra money on so many different levels. You pay more money for the figure that you actually want, or you pay more money over the course of the entire thing so that you can get the figure at the end, but then you end up buying 5 or 6 different figures, and maybe you wanted 3 of them, maybe you wanted 2 of them, maybe you were lucky and the whole wave was good. Maybe there was only one guy you didn't want, but that's one guy that cost an extra $5 or $6 or $7 on top of the original price that you have now paid to guarantee the acquisition of that Build-A-Figure. They're not free. Dan is right. It's weird, but they are at a point now where they can easily just put out a big Hulk, big Colossus, big Juggernaut, as they have done. And we will buy it because it is cool. And we will buy a Shumagorath and things of that nature because it is cool. I don't want to build Shumagorath by buying 7 Doctor Strange figures that I don't want. I don't want that. Why do other people want that? Genuine question, because I can't. It honestly confuses me. Like, I do not get it. I really don't. I can't figure it out. I did see that I lost connection and gained connection. Let me go check this real quick and make sure. It says that I've still got good connection here. Excellent connection. I've got my playback turned off, so I'm not seeing any problems there. 7 current viewers. Okay. I'm not seeing anything here that says that we have any problems. Is that still... That's still running, right? Check this. Yeah, as far as I could tell, everything's fine. But I did notice that there was a skip there for a second. I noticed that for some reason my OBS like lost connection and then got it right back. I don't know if that has affected anything. Where am I here? Let me check this and make sure. Okay, good. Good. Seems fine. I'm sorry, but I just don't think these animated style 1/6 figures with such limited soft goods should be that close in price to Hot Toys. It just doesn't sit right with me. Right. I agree. I do. Hot Toys articulation also blows this out of the water. Look up the Mondo Ultimate She-Ra. Oh, is that the big She-Ra, the 1/6? Because if that's true, that's just her coming back out. Is it? Oh no, is that the one with the horse? Because if so, I did see that, and she does look great. But I told myself I was going to buy a Mondo, give it one chance, and I did. I have my problems with Mondo. We talked about it, but I have the thing that I always wanted from them. And really, after that, I lost a lot of interest. I got that one thing that I wanted, and I haven't really cared to dive back in, and we talked about the reasoning. I watched a review for Mondo Cyclops. Guy moved the leg, only for it to snap off at the joint. Dude, if you break a Mondo, it is excruciating. They're $300 figures. That's terrifying. I put Tila in a standard pose, and she has stood like that since I bought her. And one might argue, well, that's a waste, Bill. I could have bought a $300 statue. I will be honest with you. You're right. If that's your argument, you're right. That's exactly what I could have done. And I would have got the same out of it, because I don't move my Mondo for that reason. I pretty much keep her where she is, how she is, all the time, and I don't mess with her, because I'm practically scared to. $300 posable figures that barely move and break on top of it are not good figures. And nobody seems to call them out for that. I got what I wanted, and they did me right when they realized that mine was messed up, but it doesn't stop me from pointing out there's a reason I've never bought from them again. I've yet to see a positive review for that kind of Spider-Man. They're all bad. Mondo Spider-Man. I believe that. No joke or not. Looks like Baggy Jugs is going in a cardboard box tonight. He is. He's got an elbow spike. Yes. You can remove Juggernaut's knuckle braces to fit that punching effect. Ah. Oh, I see. Neat. Thank you. That's cool. I did not know this. That's cool. Zip up the Ultimate Hulk and that Juggernaut. Size up. I could. We're right here. And I keep my Ultimate Hulk right over here, actually. Come here, buddy. That's my Ultimate Hulk. That's the Juggernaut. That's pretty good. I feel like that's pretty good. I don't hate that. One could argue comic book wise, maybe it's not perfectly accurate, but I would argue that these sizes are up for dispute anytime you talk about any artist and any book at any time. I mean, She-Hulk is supposed to be 6'5", and yet sometimes when she's standing next to certain people like Captain America, she just seems to be I don't know, she feels small sometimes, which is weird. And then other people like Ben have changed sizes remarkably over time, and Venom grew ridiculously. Sabretooth was all of a sudden like a mountain there for a while. Reminds me of my favorite line from him. What's she gonna do? Throw her diaper at me? Or when he calls Jubilee Baby Cuddles. I got a great local shop that does trade-ins and gives really fair credit. I'd rather do that than deal with fees and weirdos selling my stuff online. Just got a Mezco Ninja from him earlier today. Bill, thank you for that. Sorry it cost that much to send me. That's crazy. Hey, no reason to apologize about anything. That's what I meant to do, was send it. That was the whole purpose for picking it up, is that somebody would get it and somebody would like it. And I hope so. I hope it is really cool. I think mine is cool. I know that it's a little gimmicky thing, but it's really cool. My grandma made me wear one of those vinyl costumes. Vinyl! Yep. Costumes to school one year. It was Mr. T. Mr. T. He says mistakes were made. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Let's open Batgirl. Batgirl. Yep. I finally got one. I've been saying for a while that I want to finish off certain parts. And I have a Robin. I'm not exactly thrilled with him, but I have him and he's fine. I have a Batman. I have multiple Batmans that I actually like. Some that I would like to modify if I ever get the chance and know what I'm doing and wouldn't screw something up. But I have them. And I need a Batgirl. I kept saying the one that I like the most is the black and yellow. That's the color scheme that I've liked the most out of all Batgirls. That's the one that speaks to me. It's the one that I like. Barbara Gordon is my favorite Batgirl. I know there are multiple people that have worn the costume. Blonde Batgirl, I don't really care. She's fine. And I like no-face Batgirl. Okay? Cassandra, I like her. I like Stephanie. But I'm not like sold on them. I'm not freaking out about them. The Batgirl that I like the most, of course, is what I grew up with. It's Barbara Gordon. And there's two color schemes that work for me. There's the gray, yellow, blue, and there's the black and yellow. Those are the two that work for me. I do also like purple and yellow because it kind of harkens back to the television series, which is cool in its own right. But the black and yellow, I almost bought her. I was like this close. But I kept seeing her and I kept saying, that cape bothers me. It's that little rubber cape that like never moves. And that's the problem that I'm having with some of these figures that I have bought. Like I bought Our Man and his cape is just this big yellow blob that like doesn't move. And I kind of hate it. I like him, but I hate his cape. Because there's no reason they should have been doing that when they already moved all the other figures into capes like him, into capes like her. There's no reason for it. Well, just so happens that black and yellow one has that rubber cape. And it's an older one, so I was about to give it a pass and buy it. Then they released two Batgirls like back to back. Gray, blue, yellow, classic Batgirl with a really good classic head, and a purple. Purple and yellow. Purple and yellow looks good. I'm very tempted because I'm like, well, the purple and yellow, that's cool. It kind of harkens back to the TV show. It kind of does something that I want in that direction. While at the same time, I'm only buying one Batgirl, and if I got to pick a Batgirl for the shelf, it's got to be one of the Barbaras. Oh, wait, what is that? Oh, it's a reuse of the black and yellow body. So it still has that cape. They didn't bother to cut that cape off and give her a real cape. So we bought this one. That's where my thought process led. I knew I wanted a Barbara. I know that this is an older body Batgirl. I can tell. I can look at this and tell that this is a reuse from an earlier time in the line. However, like I recognize this gun. And I recognize this body. I know that I do. It's a reuse. I know that I've seen it on other figures that I've passed. But that head and that cape? Okay. you got me. I'm on board now. My issue is with the legs. I see the legs in there, and I see that there's this open area there. And those legs look like the same kind of legs that are giving me trouble with the Flashpoint Batman. I bought the Flashpoint Batman. I was very excited until I started trying to pose the Flashpoint Batman, and I figured out that the older McFarlane legs, they like pop off. Here's hoping that is not a continual issue, and I guess I'll know soon, because it's time to add Batgirl. Let's open her. Okay. She has a gun with this rope. It's fine. It doesn't blow my mind. It doesn't do anything for me at all. She has a batarang that realistically will never fit in her hand and never be able to be actually used. That's fun. So her accessories are trash. But I wanted her. That's what I'm interested in. So let's figure out if she is worth it. I'm noticing a little problem with her leg. It's my issue, though. I'm pretty sure that I can iron that out. This plastic is not super unmalleable or anything like that. Otherwise, she's an old body. Wow! Which, that's cool, because with an old body like this, for what it's worth, we might even be able to get away with something like... She only has one set of hands, by the way, and they're only these trigger finger hands. So let's move that cape up and around. Span it back. Put that foot out like this. Put this out like that. We got something like this. Easy pose. No issues. Cape, man. cape, that really does make a huge difference. That cape creates dynamic. And she's not exactly hurting herself here with the level that she has in her bend right here and right here. The cape is big, but it's not so big that it looks ridiculous. Like, it looks fine like this. But at the same time, if she is taking a more neutral stance and she's just kind of standing there, we can bring the cape down, and it's not so egregious that it causes problems. Like, that's it. That's fine. Skinny but doable. Like, she looks good. I don't think that we're going to have any problems like that. The belt is fine. It's kind of a separate piece. I mean, it doesn't float or nothing, but I mean, it feels like it's a sculpted out separate piece. Like I said, she's very thin, but I don't think that's a problem. I think it actually works for this version of Batgirl. And then, of course, the head. The head is a very, very spot-on good head. I mean, it's really good. It really is. Not even close to kidding. Like, come on, don't focus on me, focus on her. It's really good. Why I'm having so much trouble with the camera tonight, I don't know. But yeah, you see that? That's solid. I like that. I like that quite a bit. The back hair has this poof and everything. It has just enough where she can stand there and it'll look good, but it'll also kind of give way and allow her to like move. She does kind of look up, but not very well. She looks down. The hair doesn't feel like it's going to come off, but it's noticeable that it's like not 100%. Like, I don't know if it's full connection, and I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to pop the hair out and like have a different version of Batgirl where it has, let me pull the head and look. No, I think it's just that it's glued in there as a separate piece, and that is what it is. But it's not meant to be like, it's not meant to be so that you can pull that out. But you could, is what I'm saying. It's not in there in a way that would make it impossible. You could pull that out and then have the no hair version of this Batgirl as well, and you would get away with it just fine. I'm not having any problems with the legs. Like I said, there's a little bit of an issue right here, but I actually think that I can fix that, and that's it. I'm not noticing a problem there. I'm not noticing a problem there. So she does have those legs, like my Flashpoint Batman, but not in a way that seems to be causing her problems. The cape is big enough even that you can do that like wrap effect. It's good. She's good. Hey, fantastic, because all I wanted was one Batgirl that hit the shelf, that took care of what I wanted. I got it. No complaints. I got exactly what I wanted. Let's line up for the next one. Okay, this time we'll start from there. There's that. And then we'll jump over to bam. Yep. Yes. Okay. Boys were wearing TMNT costumes. Me, I got to wear Tin Frankenstein looking mask and paint and plaid shirt and garden gloves. I had a couple of years where like they just bought me like the Jason hockey mask, and like that was it, and then I made the rest. Like I had an old flannel and whatnot, and I had like the winter clothes, and I just kind of created my own thing. And because of where I live, half the time, we didn't get to show our costumes off. Half of the time, you would get the costume, work on it, be very excited. I'm going to be this guy and I'm going to be so cool. And this is not even just a story about like back when I was a kid. I'm talking about all my life here. Even today, sometimes I'll work on an entire costume and I'll have it all worked out. And currently, I've become known as the Freddy House. I wear full Freddy gear. And I go out and I stand out there and I hand out candy and whatnot. And I got the glove, I got the sweater, I got pants, I got boots, I got a face mask, I got the hat, I got a whole setup. The only thing I have left to do is buy a form-fitting latex mask. Once I have that, perfect. I mean, it'll be perfect. So I've kind of been working on it for a long time. And I've also made my own costumes, like a Scarecrow and a Pumpkin King and things like that over the years. And when I do this, sometimes I'm very excited and I've got it all figured out and I'm like, this is going to be perfect. And then all of a sudden, Halloween comes and it's literally snowing and it's like 10 degrees at best outside. That happened to me over and over and over. Or it's freezing rain. It's like 10 degrees out and it's raining on you. And you're out there trying to trick or treat. So it basically becomes the mask that you're going to wear. And then like a big raincoat and all your other stuff and everything. And like you just can't. You can't show off your costumes. That was a constant thing and still is even today here. There's very, very few times when you really get just a beautiful night or whatever. Last year was exceptional. And I also did a video last year specifically talking about the fact that I was very disappointed that it was so good. And then for some reason, we only got like 14 trick-or-treaters. And I know what's causing that as well. It's the fact that now they're doing all the trunk-or-treats at like, they'll do like a trunk-or-treat on like a Wednesday night, like 2 weeks before Halloween, and then none of the parents take their kids out, and Halloween is just dead. It's just dead. Like, we got 14 people, and I buy candy. I'm ready to pass it out. I got my house all set up. I got it decorated. I got the light on. I'm outside the whole night waiting for people. I love Halloween. It really kills me to watch it die off. And it is. It's dying off in terms of the way that we participate in it. And if you were to do this with almost any other holiday, it would not be okay. I'm not kidding. Take something as simple as Valentine's Day and tell your girlfriend, I bought you some candy Wednesday. You go try that out. You go see how that works out for you. You take Christmas. Go to Walmart or something like that and buy something off the shelf at like, I don't know, in November. Hand it to your friend and go, Merry Christmas. Now, we're not doing dinner or anything like that. I got you thing. We're done. Like, part of the holiday is to go do and celebrate the holiday. But we don't do that with Halloween anymore. We allow for these subsidies at Halloween where we're like, okay, well, no, kids aren't going to be out this weekend or whatever. They're going to go out to something on like Thursday or something like that, to some trunk or treat thing. And it really bothers me. I really wish the Halloween was not like dying the way it was, but it very blatantly is. I never got behind Monster Venom. I get the symbiote is able to get crazy size-wise, but you're telling me Eddie Brock is that dang big? Right, exactly. I know people don't like Venom in Spider-Man 3. But he was way more realistic than what we see in those comic books. Way more. Call me a strickler, but I appreciate McFarlane figs a lot more if they were pinless, especially if we're going to get up into the $30 range. The sculpts are nice, but those pins are an eyesore. I get it, but like, it doesn't bother me the same way. But I do feel that way sometimes when I get other lines. Sometimes other lines will make me go, "Oh, this isn't right." Like sometimes I'll see a Marvel Legend and it will irritate me because I'll be like, this is supposed to be pinless. Like we're in the pinless time now. But McFarlane never moved that direction, so like since he stayed where he was for the most part, it never really bothered me because I've always expected pins because they've always been there. And I think that's the real kicker with me, is I think depending on the line, this can make me feel a certain way. With him, it doesn't bother me. With other figures, it very much can bother me a lot. That's my only problem for why I haven't jumped completely into DC Multiverse. Pinless tech is a no-brainer and works way more efficiently for figure articulation, in my opinion. Like, you could compare a Maximum Legends to the Mafex version and make a real argument. Those pins and lack of accessories mean Todd figs will never have that option. Did you see the Shiny Mega Man pre-order? Where's that? Shiny Mega Man? Am I unaware of something? Is there something on Big Bad that I didn't know about? Shiny He-Man? Shiny Mega Man? Is that what you're talking about? You did say... Did I read that wrong? Shiny Mega Man. What Mega Man? Talking about the metallic Mega Man. That's I don't know what figure line that's from, and I think it's like a statue. If that's what you're talking about, it's the what's it called? It's a Bandai Namco. If that's what you're talking about, there's a metallic shiny, which I did know about that. But if there's another one that's like new or something like that, like a Jada that I don't know about, then I don't know about that one. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. It'll be interesting what Mattel does with the line once the contract is up. I am excited and terrified because I remember the Mattel figures and I didn't like any of them. I'm not kidding. I know that sounds like, oh, sure thing. I'm dead serious. I didn't like any of them. They were very comparative to the figures like that Conan that I opened, the Super 7. That's what they felt like back then. And I didn't like any of those. And then when they moved on past that, I didn't like any of those either. Like when they started moving into the new bodies and stuff like that, I still didn't like them. Like I didn't like the way that they, like everybody was like wide and weird, and like a lot of the girls had like these like weird like faces. Like none of the like, nobody looked like who they were supposed to look like. It bothered me. It really did. I'm not even kidding. I still have a couple Green Lanterns and whatnot from it that like I bought. And then after just spending like a week with them, I was like, this is trash. Like, I do not like this at all. So, I don't know. I'm honestly worried. Excited and worried. Dude, I saw the Sonic DC crossover figures. That Dark Side blows Todd off the road. I won't argue that. But, like, the other ones didn't necessarily... Like, I wasn't super excited about the Batman or anything like that. I don't know. If that happens, taking away candy and flowers from the missus, oh, we are looking at another Valentine's Day massacre. Yeah, looks like it. You know what? That's fine. I know what I'll open. Been sitting down here for a little while. I've never opened one of them. I got a Pokemon. I got a Pokemon. That's right. I got one. This is kind of going to be wild, if you want the truth of it. Let's do this. Typhlosion. Pokemon figure. Okay. Guys, this is more than likely not going to become a normalcy. There's a Charizard. I would be interested. There's this Typhlosion. Yes. I'm not saying there's not some of these that I wouldn't be interested in. But it's not going to be normal. I've bought a lot of plushies and whatnot, but I've never bought a lot of figures. However, recently, this is happening. What is this? Well, first off, let me find who it's from. Is it Jazzwares? Is that who's making these? I'm looking for their logo. And strangely enough, you would imagine you would want to say, hey, this is me. The only logo I'm seeing is this one here, Jazzwares. And it says WW Jazzwares. So I'm thinking it's this Jazzwares company. Regardless, guys, for years and years and years, I grew up liking Pokemon. I mean, I did. There's videos on here that there's an entire Hangout where I played through all of the original Red. I played a Let's Play where I hung out and I talked about it, and we played the whole game from start to finish. It's like 3 or 4 videos. And we do everything, and we even do somewhat, not necessarily a Nuzlocke, but we kind of lock down the team that we're going for and kind of lock them all into place, and then we start figuring out that some of these guys are trash because the game has certainly changed over the years, and we talk about the good points and the bad points. I have also talked about what team I would build if I lived in that universe. There's an entire Pokemon playlist, more than likely, on this channel because it was a thing that I really, really, really was into. When I was growing up, there were Pokemon toys. And they were garbage. Let's be honest about the situation, guys. We may have liked Pokemon, but this kind of thing was never an option for us. Even later on, when I had my daughter, and I started getting into Pokemon again, I started buying like the show and whatnot and watching it and playing the games with her, and then we started buying some toys and whatnot. It's very much like a bunch of stuffed animals, and then if it isn't stuffed animals, if it is like action figures, they're like this. This. That's it. Even today, you can go to the store right now and all over at Walmart and Target and whatnot, this is what you're getting. Just a very stiff Pokemon toy. Very stiff. No movement. No articulation. If it is, it's very mild. It's not very good. They released like one really good Ash Ketchum or whatever. And like like he was it. You couldn't get the rest of them with them. You couldn't get like the other people that would have been like, if you, as like, I played guys. That's what we used to call it. I had G.I. Joes and whatnot, and we used to go out in the backyard and we used to play, and we used to have Joes. I had all kinds of X-Men and figures and whatnot. I had Ninja Turtles like crazy. They all moved. We had so much. I had Star Trek figures. I used to build a ship. I used to have a table, and it was one of those glass tables. It was like separated into 4 sections or whatnot. And I used to be like, that's the bridge, and that's the transporter room, and this is engineering, and this is that, and these 2 chairs down here is the shuttle bay. And I used to put it all together and play Star Trek. And I used to have enough different possibility in the characters to play multiple games. Pokemon's play pattern outside of cards and video games is trash. Always has been. I remember growing up, and we would have like G.I. Joes or whatnot, and I would be like, okay, so they'd like, this guy's a ninja guy and he has a poison gem or whatever, and oh guy, and like that's it. And you had to use your imagination because these dudes ain't moving. There was the absolute definition of this. That was real. That was it. You had to like put your guy down and be like, Zah! And then like you had to move little guy or whatever and be like, he's dodging lightning. Is he? Is he really? It wasn't great. It wasn't great. And even when I grew up, it wasn't great. When I grew up and had a kid, and then she wanted to play Pokemon. She wanted to play Pokemon. And, like, I would have played with her. But there was, like, nothing, man. It was like we get, like, a little coffee table out or whatever, and we put it down, like, the little, the little tray or whatnot, and then she'd be like, my guy's this guy, and she just, like snivy or whatever. And, like, all I can really do is I can be like, okay, so I got this guy. And then, like, she'd be like, ah. And then my guy would be like, okay, you got that guy. He's down. Now this guy comes in. But, like, it sucked. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to use your imagination. But the play pattern for Pokemon outside of playing cards, which you got to get to a certain age before you can do that. You got to get to a certain age to play the cards. My kid couldn't do it. She had trouble with it. It was complicated. It was strategic. It wasn't spelled out. You got to get to a certain age to play the game. It doesn't hold your hand necessarily. And even the ones that do, you still got to be able to read. The play pattern for Pokemon in kids is toys. And until this company, there were no toys. None that mattered. They tried a million different gimmicks that never made sense to me. They'd be like, okay, there's this card and blah, 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 and then you got this like arena and this, you put this guy here and this guy here and then these cards, and then blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, once again, you're making a very complicated like battle thing that has rules and you got to set it up and you got to have all this space. Kids are simple creatures. If you've somehow forgotten, they are. I have kids that still come over to this house. I have adult friends. They are having kids. They come over. We do cookouts and whatnot. You know what? One of those kids, a couple of those kids, honestly, come over all the time. And you know what one of the things they ask for is? They don't ask for huge space or anything like that. And they don't want a super complicated toy. I'm dead serious. They go, hey, Bill. Yeah, what's up? Could I play with the He-Man toys? And I go get a Castle Grayskull and I bring it down to the table and I plop it down there. Bap! And then I put down a couple of figures. Drop! There's 10 guys go crazy. And then she's got a cat and a skeleton man and a big barbarian dude and a lady and a bird chick and like she's set. She's set for like the day, man. She's over there like doing her own thing and she's like, these guys are talking and blah, blah, blah. And this one's in the chair and now these guys are fighting and oh no. And like it's a whole thing. But they move and they allow for the character interactions. The characters of Pokemon are trash. They don't ever really get made in a way that kids can play. You got a bunch of monsters, but they're usually slugs. They don't move. The play pattern is trash. This right here is the first time in my life that I have seen a company say, but what if we made toys? What if they were toys? I know this is a concept that, like, I'm basically overblowing here. But I mean, think back to your childhood. You played Joe's, He-Man. There were Mega Man toys. I had them. X-Men toys. Crash Test dummies. Aliens. All kinds of toys. But the Pokemon toys? Like the same thing that would have been put on like your birthday cake or some shit. Like it has always blown my mind that there were no good figures for Pokemon. None that come to the top of my head. And now all of a sudden, we've got these. I've bought a couple of these already. Not for me. I got a couple of these because my kid has like Suicune and whatnot in her room. Like she has a Toxicity, Suicune. I thought there were like two more, but I'm having trouble pinpointing what they were right now. But they're releasing basically in waves of 4. This company seems to be something called Jazzwares. And they're the only ones that I've ever seen that are making Pokemon toys. Action figures. Figures that move. Figures you could play with. Figures with enough scale that if they would release a couple human characters, you would actually have a line of toys that you could play with. And play patterns like that are important. Can you imagine if when Power Rangers came out, that's all that they ever did? They were like, let's not necessarily capitalize on Power Rangers. Let's just release the one Power Ranger, make him a couple different colors, make it a slug. Don't let it move. Oh yeah, here's a robot. There, Power Rangers, go play. And that's all you ever got. There was no Rita, there was no monsters, there was nothing. It wouldn't be what it is. And it's weird to me that Pokemon never got the toy treatment. Not in a way that made sense. Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? Because I really do. I really think that's weird. Let's open Typhlosion. So, first off, every single one of these so far has come with a stand. And a good stand, too. Like really, a good stand. That's pretty heavy duty. And this is usually pretty good as well. These are fairly decent stands. Plug that in. It's got a plug right here, a plug right here. And every Pokemon seems to have something that you can do with them, whether it be like a plug on their back or their bottom or some sort of like thing that holds the bird so it can be flying or whatever. It works. Let's check out a very simple but an actual articulated Pokemon. And let's check out my favorite Pokemon. I'm not kidding. Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion. These are my favorite Pokemon ever done in the entire series. They are my absolute favorites. Always have been. Like literally since Silver and Gold, these have been my favorites. It's my favorite line. I have a lot of others that I like a lot, but my favorite, Typhlosion. Always has been. This entire Cyndaquil line, that's my favorite Pokemon ever. So when I saw this guy at a Ross for $10, I was like, I'm getting it. I don't care. I don't care how it looks. I'm getting it. And I did. He's got these legs here. They're not great, but they're doing it for him. I mean, they're moving. He's got these little toe joints. This goes back and forth right here. He's got arms that go up and down. They go out. They come in. Not crazy, but they come in. He turns. He looks up for what it's worth. He looks down for what it's worth. His mouth opens. His mouth closes. And he comes with a fire effect for him. So that you can actually turn his fire off and on. So you can put that on him. And then basically he would be doing fire. So do that. And you'd be like, and the fire would come out. There he is. It's Typhlosion. It's exactly what he is, man. And he doesn't need to be anything more complicated than that. If you'd have had this toy growing up, this is a toy. It moves. It articulates. It feels like effort was put into it. It feels like something. And you could have had a little more serious storylines. Because, I mean, kids do that. You don't think that they do sometimes, but they do. Kids have all their own adventures, the same ones that they're watching on TV. They'd have done the same thing. They'd have taken an Ash Ketchum or Ninja Guy or whatever, and they'd have went in, and they'd have made up their own thing. And then they said, okay, these are the gym leaders and blah, 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 and my guy's trying to do this. And they'd have went through the motions. They'd have caught a guy and had a story and made things and caught these guys. And they'd be like, my guy has these 3 dudes or whatever. And then he finds this guy. And then this guy helps this other one to grow up and evolve and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you. But for some reason, it wasn't a thing. And it's always blown my mind that it's not a thing. It feels like one of the weirdest missteps in all of toys. It didn't even need to be complicated. Zapdos. What did you really need? Wings that go up and down, a neck that probably moved, and maybe its mouth opened. And if the rest of it was a slug, whatever. We're talking about an age of 5-point articulation. And they couldn't even give you that back then. What do you need for a Charmander, realistically? Its neck turns left and right. Its arms go up and down. Maybe they can do this. And even this wasn't important back then. Ninja Turtles only did this. But they moved. There were options. Playsets were simple. A Pokemon Center. A battle arena that looks like rocks. A battle arena that looks like fire. A battle arena that looks like electricity. Very, very simple stuff that they did nothing with. It has never, ever made sense to me that Pokemon did not have a legit playstyle toy line. Ever. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. It is something that has sat with me for years and confused me for years. It seems like the biggest toy misstep in the history of ever. They tried a million different things that, like, they were always like, here's a Pokeball, and like the kid can throw it or whatever, and then it'll pop open and a little guy that doesn't move at all will come out and he's only like this big. And then, like, you're asking a kid that's like, 3-4 feet tall. That's the play pattern you want, is they throw the Pokeball, the guy comes out, he falls on his face, because he's going to fall out of the Pokeball and then, like, fall on his face, and then they're going to walk over and be like, that's my guy. But then, like, they literally got to go to, like, the kitchen table, like, put him on the kitchen table and, like, fight another guy, and then, like, just, I don't get it. Never understood it. It has sat with me for years. It has confused me for years, and there has never been a legit answer for it. Why? Legit question, why? Typhlosion, favorite Pokemon, added to the shelf. An actual figure, like a weird piece of history that should have existed and never did. Let's go, Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. I did it. I willed this into reality. Now get an SH Monster Arts figure to battle him. Okay, hear me out. I grew up watching Pokemon, but I was a Digimon kid. I know, that's blasphemy, but it's true. I get that. I actually watched Digimon Tamers back then, and I remember playing Digimon Rumble Arena. I watched the OG Digimon show when it aired back on Fox Kids. Me and my dad really loved watching it every time it came on. I remember I used to watch Monster Rancher. Like, of all the shows. I think it was interesting that Tamers had monsters and their human partners merge to unlock their ultimate forms. That was pretty cool. I watched that too. Probably one of my favorite intro theme songs out of Digimon shows, in my opinion. I didn't watch Digimon, but I played a couple of the games and whatnot, and I understood it, and I knew that in terms of a storyline, it was way more put together than Pokemon. Like, Pokemon was very much like an episodic, like, romp, where no episode really mattered that much. The stuff that happens in Season 1 doesn't really affect the stuff that's happening in Season 9. Like, it doesn't matter. But, like, Digimon seemed to actually run with a narrative that seemed to be going in a real direction, so the things that happened here mattered. And then I even think, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I seem to remember that those kids even, like, grew up and then appeared in other shows, which is something that Pokemon would have really benefit from. Like, if we would have started with Ash, or if instead of doing Ash, if they would have just done Red and Blue and done a story with them, and then literally those guys grow up and they kind of go off to do their own thing, and the next season focuses on Silver and Gold, and it's 2 new kids with 2 new stories, 2 new voice actors. Think Power Rangers. They swap the Power Rangers out every season, bring new kids, new adventures, new things, new situations, and it ran for years. It probably would have done Pokemon a lot of favors to play that game, but they never played it. They very desperately hung their likes on the idea that Bart Simpson never ages. Well, that's what we're going to do with Ash. And then they basically had this big one-trick pony, and by the time they decided to change it, it was way too late. Like, nobody really gives a crap that Ash is not in the show anymore. Like, I heard that it was happening, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool to see. And then I didn't even watch it. Nobody cares. Like it's just, they played the game too long, and they lost the people that would have been invested for a longer idea. Where Digimon can literally do a movie tomorrow and talk about something like, oh, well, the kids that you grew up with in season 1, this is their movie, and they're adults now. And like some adults would literally come back to see that. You can't really do that with Pokemon the same way because their characters were never allowed to learn, adapt, or age. That's another thing I liked about Digimon. Every season was like previous characters passing the torch off to new characters. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to get my stuff, get out of here. But we did. We talked about Tila today. We talked about Batgirl today. We talked about this monstrous juggernaut today. We talked about a Pokemon today. I got a lot more, and of course I got stuff coming. And we've still got Weapon X and stuff like that that's coming down the pipeline and everything. I'm not going to stay here. We're going to go ahead and cut this. I'm going to go try to unwind. Watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes of like Scrubs or something. That's kind of like the old show that I'm going through right now. You know, mindless entertainment that I don't have to think about. It's like 20 minutes of some stupid crap. Sometimes that's what I need. You know what I mean? Especially the whole car thing has me going. But I needed this. Like missing it last week kind of hit me. I enjoy this a lot. Like, this is fun for me. I like to open figures. I like to talk about my childhood. I like to talk about nostalgia and experiences and life and things of that nature. And I really do appreciate everybody that comes, everybody that watches, and everybody that hangs out. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And I will, of course, see you Wednesday. But I do actually plan to have a couple videos come out, get a couple chapters. And I'm still going to try to focus on getting some of those shorts out every now and then and kind of check up and keep things moving and whatnot. Because the shorts are kind of helping to say, hey, this has been added to the show and this is like a thing that I thought. And you know, I was thinking about this. And I've also kind of, if you've noticed, like my Instagram is starting to get back into me actually taking some photos and whatnot. And talking about like what's coming off the shelf and whatnot, which now there's a couple items that are coming off the shelf. But guys, thanks for hanging out. I know I do this every time with my outro. It's like 3 different outros instead of just one. I'm going to get out of here. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye. See you next Wednesday.